Good evening, dear listeners, and welcome to today's TSF1 Greece podcast with Alex and Panos, once again without Dimitris, for the 6 hours of
and our
Paulo.
friend Bob.
Yes, Bob is in the chat, but he is awaiting Dimitris. Anyway, first bad joke of the day. Welcome back. Panos, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thank you. It's pretty hot, as ever, summer in Greece. So we had the 6 hours of Sao Paolo recently, over the 2 weeks ago, I think. So we finally have got the full highlights and so on. And I think we can just kick it off with, shall we start with GT3, with LMGT3 in the quali? Okay, so unique challenges at Interlagos. The track has undergone modifications to help channel water away, with grooves cut into the surface, creating a unique challenge for the drivers. The drivers had to navigate the machine parts of the track while trying to set competitive lap times. We saw definitely some early qualifying battles, as in the initial laps we are all about making it into the top 10, similar to the Formula 1's Q1 to Q3 format, as only the top 10 would progress to the hyperpole session. Christian Ritz's Proton Mustang was bumped out early in the session, showing just how competitive the field was. My English is not English.
It's late, that's alright. So, tight midfield and strong push from Sarah Bovy. Sarah Bovy in the Iron Dames Lamborghini was initially outside of top 10, but she put in a stunning lap that placed her on the top, bumping out the 77 Proton Porsche. With just under 3 minutes left in the session, the gap between the top 10 drivers was a minuscule 0.623 seconds, making it one of the tightest qualifying battles in recent memory. Moving on to the final top drivers, Sarah Bovy ended up setting the fastest lap, as we said, of the session, securing pole position in GT3 for Hyperpole. Other notable drivers who made it to the next round were Ian James in the Heart of Racing Aston Martin, Tom Van Rompuy in the TF Sport Corvette, Thomas Fleur in the Vista Ferrari, a range of the top drivers representing Porsche, Ferrari and BMW.
Can I just make a comment? I think your English is not also perfectly Englishing, and by the way, I think Thomas is Fleur. I think it doesn't have an umlaut in German. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Thank you.
That's all. So, red flag incident. Towards the end of the session, Thomas Fleur, not Fleur, had a spin in his Ferrari but managed to keep it out of the barriers. This brought out a red flag, ending the session prematurely and confirming the top 10 results. So you don't wanna move to... okay, so you wanna move on. Okay.
To the hypercar qualifying session.
Very nice.
We have a heated hypercar battle. The hypercar qualifying session was as intense as expected, with teams fighting for the pole in a competitive grid. The session saw 19 drivers vying for top spots, and only the top 10 positions would go through to set the grid for the race. We had some early leaders, Toyota and Ferrari dominance. Toyota came out strong with Kamui Kobayashi setting early fast laps, followed closely by Ferrari's Antonio Fuoco, who was coming off a victory at the Le Mans. Kobayashi clocked a 1:23.6, establishing Toyota as the team to beat.
Yes, and the next one to challenge Toyota was no one else but Porsche. Both Porsche Penske cars posted quick lap times, showing strong pace and challenging for the front row. Sebastien Buemi and Callum Ilott put in strong efforts, making it a tough battle between Toyota, Porsche and Cadillac for the top spots. We also had a late session push where Ferrari strikes back. In the final moments, we saw Ferrari come back into contention. Alessandro Bierguidi and Antonio Fuoco posted quicker times, moving up to the 3rd and 4th respectively after trailing for much of the session.
We have some notable performances and close finishes. Kevin Estre in the Porsche managed to squeeze out extra pace but couldn't quite catch the Toyotas. Other notable drivers such as Alex Lynn in the Cadillac and Robin Fringe in the BMW had strong performances, but the session ended with them trailing the leading pack slightly. Moving on to the final results for the hypercar qualifying, Toyota claimed the front row with Kobayashi and Paul and Buemi in second. The top 10 cars were filled with a mix of Ferraris, Porsches and the lone Cadillac. So, in first place we had Toyota number 7 with Kamui Kobayashi, second place Toyota with number 8 Sebastien Buemi, third place Porsche Penske with number 5, fourth place number 2 of Cadillac, fifth place Ferrari with number 50 of Antonio Fuoco, sixth Ferrari with number 51 of Alessandro Pierguidi, seventh Hertz Team Jota with number 38, 8th Porsche Penske with number 6, 9th BMW with number 20 and 10th Alpine with number 35.
Yes, and I think the key takeaways, Panos is currently overheating. GT3 Paul went to Sarah Bovi in the Aaron Dames Lamborghini, delivering a standout performance to lead the field. Hypercar Paul was secured by Kamui Kobayashi in the Toyota number 7, as Panos mentioned, continuing Toyota's dominance with a commanding performance. Porsche and Ferrari showed a strong pace, ensuring they remain in the contention for the race, but Toyota's pace proved to be hard to match in the quali sessions. So, shall we move on to the race?
Race start and early action. The race kicked off with green lights and the waving of the Brazilian flag. Brendon Hartley.
There's a full stop in between, you can breathe.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Brendon Hartley in the Toyota locked up, went wide at the start and rejoined ahead of Mike Conway. The rejoin raised questions about its legality, but Hartley held second place behind the leader. In the GT category, the Aaron James took an early lead, followed by Manti Pure Racing. Key battles and incidents early on. Will Stevens in the Porsche Penske made a strong start, gaining several places by overtaking on the inside. Thomas Fleur, Vista Ferrari, had an early spin in turn 2, but he avoided major damage. Shortly after, the race went under a full course yellow for safety reasons. So, moving on to the... You can do it.
Okay. We also had some first drama for Alpine. So, Paul-Loup Chatin, I think he's French,
wow,
in the Alpine had a big spin, which was the first notable incident in the race. He was overtaken by Mick Schumacher, who took advantage of the mistake. By the way, how stupid I am. I'm doing a podcast and I didn't check up the nationality. Anyway, so moving on, mid-race highlights. We had overtakes and we definitely had again the strategy game. We had fierce battles in the hypercar and GTLM LMGT3 classes as well. Will Stevens put a stunning move on Earl Bamber's Cadillac, overtaking into 4th place. The Hertz Team Jota Porsche continued its strong pace, climbing through the field. Meanwhile, Ferrari, Porsche and Cadillac engaged in multiple close battles, including a thrilling 3-wide move between Nick Nielsen, Laurens Vanthoor and Mick Schumacher, with Vanthoor eventually coming on top.
So, moving on to strategies and pit stops. Throughout the race, the tire management became a critical aspect of the strategy, especially as the front left tires were under significant strain. Teams like Alpine and Lamborghini focused on managing their tires to ensure longevity. A notable pit stop issue occurred while Michelle Gatting's car had to be pushed back into the garage with concerns over fuel leakage. Moving on to late race drama and Toyota's drive-through penalty, Mike Conway's Toyota number 7 received a drive-through penalty for a full course yellow infringement. Despite the penalty, Conway managed to recover, helping Toyota stay in contention. In GT3, Alex Malikin took the lead after a well-executed pass in the McLaren, while Maxime Martin in the BMW climbed into 3rd, setting up an intense battle.
So we definitely, though, as we near the end, had some big moves and definitely aggressive overtakes, being Interlagos after all. In the closing stages, the Hertz Team Jota Porsche, driven by Antonio Giovinazzi, dive-bombed into the field, overtaking the Jota number 12 car. This one was one of the many decisive moves that kept Porsche in the fight for podium finishes. A significant moment also came when Laurens Vanthoor pushed his Porsche past Robert Kubica's Ferrari, showing Porsche's aggressive intent throughout the race. Into the final hour, Toyota secures the win. With just over an hour left, Toyota number 8 took control of the race, passing multiple competitors including Will Stevens' Porsche and the Ferraris. Valentino Rossi in the BMW made a strong push, passing Jose Maria Lopez to secure 5th place, showcasing his skill in endurance racing.
Closing the GT3 and hypercar finishes, in GT3 Manti Pure Racing claimed victory, followed by Heart of Racing Aston Martin and United Autosport in 3rd and 4th, their best finish of the season. Toyota became the first team to win twice in Sao Paulo, with car number 8 crossing the line first. This marked their second win of the 2024 season. Porsche Penske secured 2nd and 3rd places, keeping the championship fight alive. Podium and championship implications, Toyota number 8 took the win, followed by Porsche Penske with 2 cars on the podium. The result was crucial to the manufacturer standings, with Toyota and Porsche still battling for supremacy as the season heads towards the final rounds. Sebastien Buemi secured his 25th WEC victory, making him the most successful driver in WEC history. In GT3, Manti Pure Racing secured their second victory of the season, keeping them in the hunt for the championship.
Definitely. So, the key results. The hypercar top 3 being Toyota number 8, as said, Sebastien Buemi and team. In second place was the Porsche Penske number 5, and in third Porsche Penske number 6. Again, as Panos mentioned, in the GT3 we had Manti Pure Racing with Lamborghini at first place. The second one was Heart of Racing with the Aston Martin, and in third place we had United Autosports. So, to sum it up, the notable drivers. Sebastien Buemi extended his all-time WEC win record with a 25 victory, while Valentino Rossi showcased impressive form, climbing into the 5th place in the BMW, cementing his growth reputation in endurance racing. So, I think, yes, Interlagos never fails to be interesting, I guess, whether it's F1 or WEC. So, it was definitely a nice race, and with 3 races to go now, so we have the next one is Texas, right? The Lone Star Le Mans in around the month. The Cota. Okay, yeah. This joke makes sense in Greece. The Circuit of the Americas. So I think this is pretty much it. I hope from wherever you hear us, it's cooler than it's currently in Greece. And I think we can wrap this one up here and see you in around a month with the Lone Star Le Mans, right? So I guess with that, it's till the next one. See you then. Bye.